Today I'm with Viktor Sághy. Viktor is from Hungary, and I know Viktor from my coaching group with my coach, the Art of Living Academy. Hello, Viktor.
Hello, it's really good to be here.
Nice to have you here as well. Although it's not really here, it's from a distance, but still. Um, you are an inspiring person in the coaching group we are both in. And I would like to ask you, what is your language? What do you speak? Who are you being?
First of all, thank you. It's always good to hear that I'm inspiring, and I am, because I think it's important what we say, because what we say creates. And thank you for your question. The conversation that I love to spark, to stir up, is the conversation around uh, what I would say is coming alive again.
Coming
Is
to
to
life?
yeah,
Yeah.
be, becoming alive again,
Yes.
becoming like be turned on by life, be turned on by life. Uh, I work with many different type of people, from leaders to teams to creative geniuses to heart leaders. Um, but what I see is very common in the human experience is that when we were a child, we possessed something,
Hmm.
curiosity and excitement, self-expression. We run out of the playground and we found friends and we made up games and we won or lost, or we were excited about waking up. And then we grow old or we grow
Hmm.
up and something happens, and the word starts to shrink and we become more numb and we uh, travel up from the heart to the head, and the holidays start to lose their magic and all of these things. And I see that very often. Like, I work with a lot of men, especially with men, but not just. They become numb to just life and get settled into a familiar routine of everything, and that's when life shrinks. Now, the kind of conversation I like to have is first of all meet with what is, so arrive where they are at, and meet with that, and then start to see what would it take for them to become alive again.
Would you say that leadership in our world, in the modern world, is mostly misunderstood? From my education, I think I was taught more about control than about leadership, and that has transformed within me as well. And the big difference I notice is that when you go away from control, that you open up. Control is very, it feels very closed down. It's very narrow, and mostly you lack the ability to connect with yourself and with others when you're controlling. And maybe that's exactly what a good leader would need to do, is to connect.
Mm, yeah, yeah, you voice it very, very beautifully, because the same development a leader needs to go through is the same development a human being needs to go through, right? So if you think about it, whenever we are, and we often have that in our own life when we maybe a bit of out of shape spiritually. Let's say we are tired, something bad happened, and we just somehow don't really get it, and we are in disharmony, right? What kind of feelings going to be present in us? It's going to be more fear. We will, as a way to respond to fear, we will try to control our situation more. We will try to control people more. We will try to control things around us in order to gain some level of safety, and what kind of leaders we are and what kind of human beings we are is interlinked. So that's when leadership development and personal development is inseparable. And that's what, in my book, makes leadership a spiritual path.
Yes. Do you coach mostly men or do you coach men and women around leadership?
So both men and women.
Yes. Is there a difference in the topics they bring to you or the issues they would like to have resolved when they come to you between men and women?
One thing that I particularly see with men is overcoming people pleasing and stepping back into
Okay.
their power. So that's something that, for example, there is a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And when I recommend that to almost any man, it hits home right away, or at least the men I talk to. And so there is that thing where it's about accepting the power and the assertiveness that they do have,
Hmm.
right? And to really see that those people-pleasing behaviors is really just a way to control, right? It's another type of control. Obviously, this is not gender specific, I would say. This is more kind of like
Okay.
type of people or group of people
Yeah.
specific. There are leaders who are very masculine, but there are leaders who bring a lot of maybe, you know, like empathy and a lot of care and a lot of feminine qualities
Yes.
into their leadership. And that can be, for example, like let's just imagine an office. And there is again, I'm gonna play into the stereotypes, but there is a female like office manager, or how do
Hmm.
you say it, like
An office manager
office manager or
or a
secretary,
manager, a
right?
secretary. Yes, same
Right?
thing. Yeah.
Who takes care of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, uh, in many ways or in many situations, she can become the leader when it comes to sorting out certain things, and she might be sorting those out from a motherly care. And while the boss was the leader at certain times, the secretary was a leader at other times. So that's another misconception. We think that if someone is the CEO, that person is the leader.
Yeah.
Yes, in certain sense. But leadership travels as influence travels. So, for
Yes.
example, in my community, even if I'm the community leader, right?
Hmm.
Certain times someone else can step up either in the community or either during calls and can source something else out, can answer certain questions, can have influence on others.
Hmm.
By definition, in that case, that person is going to be the leader, right?
Yes.
And for me, being able to be an effective leader, I need to know that and I need to rise above me.
For me, if you really, it has to do also with ownership. If you own who you are and you are in a community and everyone has their talents, so if one of the talents is specifically needed, the one who owns the talent can step up and come into the picture and lead the rest of the group. And that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way of seeing leadership.
Yeah, and as a result, you become more. Now, um, you mentioned something about control, and I think that's a really, really important part of the equation. There are leadership types which based on control, right? And it creates a certain type of culture, which
Yes,
is
I
very much
suppose
based
that
on control.
the control also has to do with people not wanting to give up their leadership, and it doesn't work that way because everyone is different, and it really also in a company it's so valuable to have complementary talents and to grant the leadership to the person who, in any situation, has the most of the authority in that situation, which implies that if there's someone who wants to control the situation and wants to be in that leadership role all the time, it will not be, you will not get the same results.
Yeah. And you're not going to be less as a leader. Like this is what I learned like this year specifically. Um, I ran I ran like a 6 months business school, as well as started a community, like a movement for men, spreading healthy masculinity. And I remember at the beginning of the year, as I started these um, projects or these teams, I remember that I had this fear of giving the space to them and not
Hmm.
having me be the one who provides the wisdom, the one who provides
Yeah,
the path, but let them take
yeah.
and me step back. But I knew that that's the right thing to do, and I felt the fear of
Can
letting
you,
go the
I'm sorry, I'm going to
control.
interrupt you. Do you have any idea where that fear come from? Was there a thought behind why you did not, where you were, so
Yeah,
there was a
like
fear of,
I'm not gonna be important.
yes, you're not going
I'm
to be
not,
seen? Is it maybe that also that people,
I'm not gonna be
want,
seen. I'm
yeah,
not gonna be important.
yeah,
I'm not gonna be helpful. I'm not gonna be needed, right? So there are different ways. Like first of all, why are we drawn to leadership, right? Now, that's gonna be part of the equation. Um, so I be I got to face with that and see that. And then I just knew like what I need to do is to let go control and give them the space. And something beautiful has grown out of it, something that I could have not created by myself. People started to step up, they started to share their gifts, conversations started to happen, the whole community became alive, and people said things that I couldn't have said or come up with. Now, which one is more important? For me to seem and feel like I'm an expert, or the cause?
yeah. I see a great similarity with how, with my idea of speaking, like of what impactful speaking is about. There also people come to me and want to be like the perfect speaker, and I, from my perspective, find that you can be impactful as a speaker when so you want connection, you want to communicate, so you want connection. When you first connect with everything, and I'm really saying everything that's within yourself, also the things you might not want to look at, because from there, the more you connect with sorry, with every piece of you, you can connect with uh, every piece of the other one. And I see that same thing uh, when I hear you talk about leadership, that also there it is not a question of control. It is a question of knowing when to step, when it's your turn, when you can be valuable, and also letting go and being able to see the other for his or her greatness and let her or him step up when he or she is needed.
Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
clear?
absolutely, absolutely. And that's when you start to care about people, start to care about the cause, start to talk about the cause, talk your vision. um that's like a very and that's when you're gonna feel more love, feel more expansion
Yes.
around your heart. And that's why I speak about leadership so holistically, because to me it's a holistic approach, because it is basically driven by who we are being, right? And you can apply that to voice, you can apply that to anything else. essentially it all comes down to who we are being, how, like, what on what level are we speaking, or what level are we thinking, what level are we
Hmm.
feeling, and how consciously are we creating that, or how unconsciously we creating that, right? Yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful, Victor.
yeah, yeah.
Can you put your finger on what people struggle the most with, or um, yeah, if someone were to ask you, like, I really want to lead, what is the thing that I would need to transform the most? I get that it's different for everyone, but what's like the one thing
So,
that
okay,
can
so I feel I could go in two directions with that, almost like there are two questions, or there are two questions. One question, if someone would come to me and say, I want to lead, right? I would say, why?
lead?
That's or lead. Like, why? Why do you want to lead, right? Because
Yes,
that's, as I said, that's where everything starts. Why? Is it because you care about something, or is it that you care about looking good, or you care about the money, or care about people? Like, why do you want to lead? Uh, so that's a question I would want to know the answer to.
hmm,
Um, as in more of a in a holistic sense, what I see people struggle with, at least in my kind of word or with my clients, and then what they become master of, is taking chances. I simply
yes,
call it taking chances. I think, when you stop taking chances, I described at the beginning when we were a child and how life was exciting and we felt young and all of these things. We took chances. Like our
yes.
whole life was about taking chances,
Yeah,
learning.
it's like when a child learns to walk, they don't, and they fall, they get up time and time again, and they don't ask themselves, "Oh, what are they going to think about me when I when I
Yeah,
get up now again and again?"
yeah,
They
and
just
we
do.
grow up, and what happens? Taking chances starts to shrink down, and with that
Yes,
whole life starts to shrink down. We start to feel numb. Our opportunities, our friends, and excitement, everything shrinks down. And I see this very often of, you know, leaders who are in positions, and then they're like, I don't enjoy my life anymore, right? Or, men who maybe do really well, but feeling insecure inside, and they say, like, look, I don't know where to go. So what happens is, like, as they were when they born, they were taking chances. The world
yes,
was the oyster, and for some reason they learned to play safe and not to take
yes.
chances anymore. So what I help people with is, sometimes I like to, like, mock people, and be cheeky with it, and say that when people ask, what do you do? I say, I help people fail more.
You help people feel more,
Fail, fail, fail.
fail more. Yes,
I
yes.
help people fail more, not succeed
Do
more,
they like
fail.
to hear that? I'm going to
Yeah,
help you fail more.
what? Yeah, I
Yeah,
help people to fail more, because when you fail more, when you're free to fail more, you also make a lot of progress. You also
yes,
succeed. You also have a lot of excitement. You also learn a lot. You also have a lot of room for growth. Like, suddenly so much things open up. There is nothing that kills dreams as much as the thought, what will people think of me? You want to feel good. Essentially, that's
yes,
that's
yes.
that's that's what we all want. Now,
Exactly. You want to feel safe, and you want to keep things as they were. Like people don't want to change because they're scared of they'd rather have repeat something of which they know it's actually not going to bring them any result than
often people
uh
don't even know that things can be different,
yeah,
right? They 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 don't have the possibility in their map.
they've given up in a way.
Often people don't even know they
They
have
don't
given up.
even know.
They just see that this is how life is, and they
Okay.
they they not even accepted or resigned. Sometimes they are, sometimes they don't even have the awareness. So that's like the first step, right? Sometimes they have the awareness that things could be different and better, and maybe they resigned. Like that's already a better place to be because at least they know, right?
Yes.
Um, but like then the next step is to be able to open up that things can be different, is not to resign, but to open up and then actually to commit to making a difference, right? So there are stages to 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 making a change or
Hmm.
stages to transformation. And most people don't even know that, like, I have this conversation so often where people describe themselves and we talk about words and they say things like, you know, I'm lazy, or
Yes.
I I I'm someone who talks very badly of himself, right? All of these I am statements are statements that we we claim ourselves to be that way.
Yes.
We not just describe, we also create ourselves that way. And so to what you say, like they don't even know that things can be different. But as soon as they start to have the awareness of what they are doing and that they can be different, and then as a next step, they start to doubt their doubts and open up to the possibility of what if it is if it's really available for them to be different. And then actually the next step is to start to commit to making a difference. So again, like there are stages
Yes.
to
Can you
transformation.
because you yeah you talk about also the stages where people are in that come to you. Um, can you help anyone who comes knocking at your door, or do people from the start need a certain awareness?
It can be developed. So
Anyone can
if they
learn
are
it?
willing, if
Yes.
if they are willing, then yes.
Hmm.
If they are willing, then yes. Because, it's like this is built into us human beings.
Yes.
The ability to see things and see new things about ourselves. It's innately in us. So because of that, if you are willing, then yes, you can change.
Yes. I think it's so valuable what you shared today. Um, I have learned from you about the types of leadership, for example. So thank you so much for sharing. Where can people find you? Do you have a website that we can share down below?
Yes, yes. So the easiest way to find me is gonna be my name, Viktor Sághy, and my website is viktorsághy.co.uk, viktorsághy.co.uk, and on LinkedIn, Facebook, again, Viktor Sághy, you can find me. I'm sure that you're gonna put
Yes,
in
I'm going to
the
share.
spelling. It's Victor with a K because I'm from Europe, and Shaggy is Saghy,
Yes.
Saghy. And on Instagram, I'm innately whole.
Okay. What's the easiest way to get connected with you?
The easiest way is to write me on LinkedIn or Facebook.
Okay. So that's
Just
clear.
shoot me a message and we go from there.
Yes. Victor, thank you very much for leading us into leadership and transformation. Um, I loved you being here, and I wish you lots of success and lots of fun also in leading your coachees.
Thank you. And I really appreciate what you are doing here. I think one, you create a very safe space as well as you ask really great questions and lead the conversation really well. And seeing as well as experience the work that you do. And I think it's quite unique. There is um, I have never experienced something like having a conversation with you. I think, coming from this place of language and voice is very, very powerful on every level. So thank you for the work that you do as well.
Thank you so much, Victor.